Well, hello my peeps, it's Antoinette here, and I am going to put these home ec brownies to bed. Alright, I tried my remade version, and they were pretty darn good. I did it in my Food Network brownie bite pan, and cutting the recipe in half is perfect for brownie bites. So that's what I did, and they were pretty darn good, except they still had that cooling, effect from the sugar. Now, one change I did make was, in the home ec video, I used like 66% Ghirardelli chocolate, and but that's just too sweet, so I went totally unsweetened, and that turned out much better. But I'm not completely satisfied yet, so I'm gonna fix it today. 3 ways. Alright, so I am using my recipe exactly as I did the other night off camera, only I'm switching up the sugars. Sugars I've never used. So my half recipe, the sugar that I used the other night was the Lakonto powdered sugar sweetener, which is what I used in the home ec video. Now, I hightailed it over to Amazon, and I've never tried this, Anthony's Allulose Sweetener. I know that from the Facebook groups, a lot of people like this. So I thought, all right, I'm gonna give this a shot. And then King Arthur. I've been meaning to try this. Zero aftertaste baking sugar alternative. It has erythritol, soluble corn fiber, allulose, cane sugar derived fructan fiber, monk fruit extract, natural flavor, I never like seeing that, and stevia leaf extract. So it's a whole variety of a bunch of different sweeteners. So we'll see. They say it's a 1-for-1 substitute for granulated sugar, made by bakers for bakers. So I have high hopes for this. We're gonna find out. Stay tuned. First up, it's going to be the allulose sugar. There is nothing in here except for allulose. So there is a conversion. 1 cup equals 1 1/3 cup of allulose. So we do need 1 cup of sugar. So we will put that in. I started heating up the double boiler, and in here I have a 1/2 stick of butter, and I'm putting in, this Baker's is perfect for this because it's 4 ounces, exactly half the bar, and for my 2 batches that I'm going to make, that will be perfect. So I'm just going to melt that. In this bowl we have a 1/2 stick of kind of soft butter, 3 eggs. I have 3 eggs in, but the other day I was trying to make some crackers. I wasted a whole bunch of ingredients trying to make the perfect cracker. I'm still working on that. Okay, but I had to use egg whites, so I have 2 egg yolks, and I'm not gonna waste these. So for each batch, I'm gonna use an extra yolk. All right, I have that yolk in, and with coconut flour, you almost can't go wrong with the eggs, putting more eggs in. It's so dry. All right, let's see how this is doing. All right, that's not even starting to melt. Then we have the 1 cup of sugar, so it's going to be 1 1/3 cup of the allulose. The allulose is very, very fine and powdery. Yeah, I think I like that. It's not crystallized. 1 1/3 cup. Now, this is $10. I used half of it. Yeah, I was kind of surprised when it arrived in this little teeny tiny bag. I must tell you that. Next, vanilla. Half a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon. Tad bit over. That's fine, I like vanilla. Okay. Now I'm just gonna grab my KitchenAid handheld and I'm gonna beat the crap out of this for a good long while. I beat this till it's light, fluffy, and airy. Not quite 10 minutes like my teacher said, but a good 5, because it is a half a batch after all. My chocolate is just about done, but first we have to put in the dry ingredients. 2.5 tablespoons coconut flour. I think I'm gonna have just enough for all my batches. Alright, then I need an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. This is a 1/4 teaspoon size, so I'm just gonna do half. And that's that. I'm just gonna mix that up and then put in the chocolate. I need the chocolate to cool down a little bit before I add it in. Let's mix in the dry ingredients. That's it. It's very fluffy. Okay, let's check on the chocolate. I'm gonna take a quick break and let that cool off just a little more. You really want it down to like lukewarm or less. I have my Food Network pan here. I'm just gonna spray it with my coconut oil spray. Unlike a pan of brownies, you don't need to cocoa the tray. This came out just fine the other night when I made these. So, just gonna spray. Okay, and then the oven is already preheated, and now I'm going to pour in the chocolate. I'm gonna get it all. We'll find out how we like allulose sugar. Okay, now I'm just lightly mixing the chocolate in, and we're gonna pour it into the pan and get it in the oven. And I think it only takes like 20 minutes for the brownie bites. I will say, I used the Hershey's cocoa chocolate, and that was much darker, and I really liked that the other night. This is more like, you know, milk chocolate looking. That's the baker's chocolate. I did like the Hershey's. It was great. Okay, I'm just gonna scoop these in with my Pampered Chef little scooper. This scooper is the perfect size for this pan. So this makes 2 batches. So 24 little brownie bites per batch. In the oven it goes. We'll be back. They're looking really good. I took the first batch out of the oven. They're looking really good. I used a little toothpick It is coming out clean, and they are not overcooked. I'm going to let these cool off and get that second batch in. Okay, so that first batch stuck a lot more than I expected. And I'm going to attribute that to the allulose sugar, because that did not happen with the Lakonto powdered sugar. So I greased the pan for the second batch, which is only, 9, with lard. And then I also sprayed it with that coconut oil so that this doesn't stick. All right. Second batch is finally going in. The brownies are out of the oven, and I'll tell you what, with the addition of the lard, I mean, the brownies are practically popping out of the pan. So that worked. But, so in the interest of time, since I need to always have that pan cool off, since it's the only one I have, I'm going to do this out of order. When I was at Kroger getting the chocolate, I saw this on the shelf. I'm like, oh my gosh. It was $9.99. It's Keto and Company Fudge Brownies Keto Baking Mix. It's 1.1 grams of net carb. It says, yeah, fudgy brownies. This makes an 8x8 pan. So I have this Pyrex 8x8 pan, and I greased it with lard and then cocoaed it, and then I just sprayed a little coconut oil on top just for good measure. But so what you add to this is 3/4 cup of melted butter. That's 1.5 sticks. 3 eggs beaten. That's it in the package. So I'm gonna whip this up and get it in that pan. Same temperature, 350 for 30 to 35 minutes. So, you know, this is what's called living the lifestyle. So I'm going to give you my opinion on all 3 brownies. I already gave you, I feel like the Lakonto sweetener, the powdered sugar sweetener variety that I made the other day, I think that one's already out of the running because of the aftertaste on the brownies. So that one's out. So these 3 to go. I melted the butter in the microwave, but it's a little too hot. I have the mix and the 3 eggs in the bowl. And I didn't give it any advantage by using cold eggs. So, but it's very interesting. It's made with Allulose Sweetener. The prebiotic alternative to sugar. So the ingredients are Allulose sugar replacer, which is erythritol, soluble corn fiber, inulin, monk fruit, natural flavors, coconut flour, cocoa powder, salt, and more natural flavors. So to me, this is going to be very much like that King Arthur baking sugar alternative. Has a lot of the same ingredients in there, and they're also using coconut flour. So, you know, I really try not to use processed foods. I like to use, you know, individual ingredients, but everything is processed. A little bit to some point. I just don't know how processed this is. And it was $9.99. So this is twice the price that it costs to make it yourself. And I'm always saying, you know, you're better off making it yourself. But we're gonna find out. Well, that took like 3 seconds to beat up, and it is very fudgy. Look at this. I mean, this is just like a Duncan Hines brownie mix. Look at it. It's very good. I hate to say that. But it's really good. Twice the price, but quick and easy. All right, I'm gonna put that in the oven. And then what I'm going to do is duplicate the first recipe, replacing the King Arthur sugar, and make that batch once I can get these out of the pan. All right, when those are all done, we're gonna take a look at all 3 sets of brownies, taste them, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you what I think between all the sugars and all the brownies. Ooh. Okay. Oops. I think the chocolate's melted. Okay, I have to say that the consistency of the King Arthur, King Arthur is not as fluffy, and well, the color is a little different because my beater still had that wonderful processed Keto and Company chocolate on the beaters. I just went with it, but this does not fluff up and aerify like the allulose. So I'm gonna keep on beating. Look at those Keto and Company brownies. I have to tell you, I'm in quite shock of what a difference the sweetener makes. All right, this is the same exact recipe, and the King Arthur, it was very different, creaming up the eggs and such, but this came out much more richer, darker chocolate, like it did the other night when I used the Hershey's. Same chocolate. I used the Bakers in here, and the allulose was very milk chocolate, and this one's rich chocolate. Which is exactly how it was the other night with the Lakonto. The consistency is completely different. This is quite an interesting experiment, I must say. Okay. Okay, get a good look at these brownies. Okay, so that's the allulose. Here's the Keto and Company. It really pulled away from the pan. So we'll see about that. But these, look at these. That's the King Arthur sweetener. There's a big difference between these two. They may look a lot alike, but they are not. Here we are at the taste test. I'm really glad that I spent my Sunday doing this brownie challenge. I really wanted to figure it out. And but so the Keto and Company is it is nice and fudgy, like they say. And then the allulose, this is the allulose, and that kind of sunk. And the King Arthur just stayed nice and beautiful. I did get to taste out of the brownie pan, you know, a little bit on the edges while it was warm. So I will say that this is, the sweetener is, it's something for everybody. The allulose, the one that's sunk here, if you don't like really sweet sweets, the allulose sweetener is for you. But if you want something that's more like baked goods, it's the King Arthur. I mean, it held up beautifully. All right, now I did not taste the Keto Company yet. All right, so I'm gonna get a bite of all of them. I mean, look at that. Yeah. It's extremely fudgy. Okay, now the allulose. Okay, and then the King Arthur, just higher. Okay. The King Arthur is fudgy too. The allulose is, it's slightly fudgy, but it's more cake-like. I'm amazed on what a difference the sweetener makes. I'm glad I did this test. I mean, look, can you see my plate? If you are looking to make brownies really quick and easy with clean ingredients, yeah, the Keto Company, it's very good, but it's twice the price. I am quite the fan of the King Arthur. I have found a new sweetener. Now, this is what I've learned. I've learned that with baking, coconut flour is a must. Now, with that being said, I do know that the King Arthur also comes in a flour, and I've been putting off making the pasta out of my pasta machine. I want to try the lasagna. I said that a long time ago. I haven't done it yet because the flours are messing me up. I want to try the pasta with the King Arthur flour, so I'm going to have to order that. I am such a fan of this. Look at the difference. Allulose, King Arthur. Well, now I have a lot of brownies. I'm gonna have to share with my neighbors, but I don't think they're getting my King Arthur. You are the clear winner. Thanks for stopping by for another video. I will leave the link. Yeah. I mean, this is, the Keto Company, it's really good if you want to pay twice the price and make a quick brownie, because it was really fast and easy. It's very fudgy. It's not Duncan Hines, but this one is. Okay, I am done with my brownie challenge. I do have 3 brownie videos now. One was with my grandson last summer. It's really paleo. It's the one that's on the bag here. The cacao feel-good brownies. But this was kind of bitter to me. Yeah, it's a superfood and it's fabulous. But again, this would be good with, just like the allulose, for people who don't like a lot of sweet. Okay, regarding the powdered sugars. So I had put the Lakonto on the Keto and Company brownie. Now, we are talking consistency here. And I really thought it would beat out the Swerve, but the Swerve has a much nicer sprinkle on top of the brownies. So this will likely be the last bag of Lakonto powdered sugar that I'm going to buy. The Swerve wins out for powdered sugar. Okay, peeps. Thanks for stopping by for another video, and we will see you next time. Hopefully we're making that pasta.